The news students can use. This week's headline included an enactment of the Insurrection Act in Minnesota,
as well as a new bill that can make it more appealing for the Chicago Bears to move to Indiana. I'm Janae.
And I'm Richard. Here are all of this week's stories.
The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is looking for a place to place a processing center in Maryville that would hold hundreds of immigrants as part of a new Prime for Human Beings network. The Washington Post reported that it had obtained internal ICE documents that outline plans to detain 8,000 immigrants in industrial warehouses nationwide. NBC and Bloomberg News have also reported on ICE looking at converting warehouses into detention centers to speed up deportations. Possible locations in Maryville were set up at the 8700 block on Maryville Road. Maryville officials have stated concerns over this facility, but say there might not be anything they can do about it.
At least 32 people are dead after a crane collapsed onto a moving passenger train in Thailand. The crane that collapsed was being used to build an elevated part of a planned high-speed railway to connect China with Southeast Asia. It is estimated that an additional 64 of the 171 passengers were injured. This is one of two crane accidents in Thailand. The other incident involved a crane collapsing onto a roadway near Bangkok, killing 2 people.
A Chicago public school teacher that was missing for weeks was found in Lake Michigan. 53-year-old Linda Brown's body was recovered from the water after last being seen on January 3rd. Police released a statement that said revealing surveillance footage showed Brown leaving her car on the 3500 block of South Lake Park in Chicago. According to her husband, the night before she disappeared, they watched a movie, and the next day, she never showed up for her acupuncture appointment. Brown was seeking help for mental health challenges that had worsened near the end of winter break.
New York is now entering day 5 of its longest nurses' strike in the state. Nurses in major New York hospitals went on strike earlier this week due to contract disputes with hospital directors. The negotiations have turned bitter as either side will give in to the other's demands. The nurses are striking for better wages and better benefits. Although hospital directors are adamant there is not enough in the budget for these demands. Neither side is backing down as negotiations continue into today.
Renowned actor Kiefer Sutherland has been arrested under accusations of him assaulting a rideshare driver. Sutherland was arrested earlier this week, booked into jail, and released. He was bonded at $50,000 and bonded out hours later. Allegedly, Sutherland attempted to cancel his rideshare and the driver refused to let him out when Sutherland got into a verbal altercation with the driver. When the driver called police, Sutherland stayed on scene and remained cooperative. Sutherland is scheduled to appear in court on February 2nd.
That's all we have for this half.
Stay tuned after this for more top stories.
Here are some more stories.
Trump threatens to invoke the Insurrection Act to help control the anti-ICE protests in Minnesota. He is threatening to send troops following the protests and vandalism after an agent shot a man in the leg. The Insurrection Act law allows active duty military personnel to be deployed for law enforcement duties. The protest started after an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good and a car chase involving a Venezuelan national who was shot after 3 immigrants attacked a law enforcement officer with a snow shovel and broom handle. Several cars belonging to federal government were also damaged and property was stolen.
District 86 School Board in Joliet officially votes to fire an elementary school custodian. He was arrested last week on 3 counts of child pornography. Parents of children in the district are furious after not being told about the things the custodian has done until after the vote was finished. Parents are looking for more reassurance that things like this will never happen again.
Elon Musk's XAI faces backlash after Gronk generates sexualized images of children on X. Users on X are having raised concerns after sent sexually explicit images of children in response to a user on X. After this incident, a rising concern about AI has increased due to the increase in use of deepfaking people's faces to lewd images. Since this incident, Elon Musk has been threatened to shut down this AI until it is fixed.
What if the Chicago Bears came to Northwest Indiana? Would they be called the Gary Bears? Any Chicago Bear fan hoping that they will construct a football stadium here in Northwest Indiana should keep an eye on Senate Bill 27. This proposal sets a framework that could possibly bring them here. This is a 14-page proposal that states a public entity that owns a facility would exempt it from property tax. According to the bill, any stadium leased to an NFL team must last at least 35 years. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is all for the Chicago Bears coming to Indiana and stated in his State of the State address that his administration is working hard to bring the Chicago Bears to the Hoosier State.
Toy maker Mattel has unveiled its new autistic Barbie doll. After 18 months of development, they released their new autistic Barbie doll. Mattel states that the Barbie doll is meant to show visual characteristics and attributes of people with the autism disorder spectrum and help children better see themselves represented in the Barbie doll. Autism advocates are celebrating the release of the Barbie doll since it can do better message to children who are not on the spectrum.
That's all we have for this week.
Make sure you tune in next week for more ACC student news.
The news students can use.